Shedeur Sanders is QB1. No more whispers. No more waiting. No more hiding behind camp buzz or maybe later in the season nonsense. The Cleveland Browns have officially handed the keys of the franchise to the rookie with a golden name and the ice-cold composure. And somewhere in the shadows of that decision, a clipboard just hit the floor because Dillon Gabriel is losing it.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Week 1. Bengals. Primetime drama. Shedeur starting. And Joe Flacco, Super Bowl MVP, comeback king, old reliable, taking a backseat. Let that sink in. This isn't just a lineup change. This is an earthquake in cleats. And if you've been paying attention to the cracks forming in Cleveland's quarterback room all offseason, this feels less like a bold new chapter and more like the inevitable explosion after months of barely contained chaos. So, how did we get here? Let's rewind. For weeks, months, really, there's been an uncomfortable tension hanging over the Browns' practice facility. An energy you could feel even if you weren't in the room. On the surface, it looked like your average camp competition. Young quarterbacks learning the system. Veteran presence providing stability. A front office playing it cool. But underneath? A tug of war. Between the old NFL and the new. Between patience and pressure. Between tradition and talent that refuses to wait its turn. Shedeur Sanders came into Cleveland as the wild card. Not just Deion's son. Not just a flashy name with a strong Instagram following. But a quarterback with a kind of poise, vision, and command you just don't expect from rookies. Especially ones who slipped in the draft for reasons that had everything to do with politics and nothing to do with football. The moment he stepped on the field, he didn't just look like a future starter. He looked like the only quarterback in the room ready to own the huddle right now. And the fans? They saw it. The media? They saw it. The locker room? Oh, they definitely saw it. But someone who didn't want to see it? Dillon Gabriel. Third string? Please. He thought he was next up. He believed the Browns were grooming him behind Flacco. That he was going to be the one to slowly, methodically, respectfully rise through the ranks. He had the resume, the reps, the trust of the QB coach. But what he didn't have? The locker room. Because while Gabriel was sticking to the textbook, Shedeur was rewriting it. Game after preseason game, practice after practice, Sanders wasn't just making plays. He was winning guys over. Wide receivers, linebackers, even the offensive line, notoriously resistant to rookies, started to buy in. You can't fake leadership. You either have it or you don't. And Shedeur? He's got it in buckets. So when the news broke, Shedeur starting week 1, Flacco as the vet on standby, it wasn't just a football decision. It was a statement. The Browns aren't waiting. They're not hedging. They're not pretending that development has to look like redshirting and clipboard holding. They're all in on right now. And Gabriel? He snapped. Sources inside the facility said he stormed out of the team meeting. Didn't even wait for the depth chart to be printed. Slammed his playbook on the table, muttered something about wasted reps, and walked right past the locker room. His agents already making calls. Trade rumors are swirling like snow in a Cleveland December. And honestly, he might have a point. Because this wasn't just about performance. It was about presence. And in that category, Shedeur has Gabriel beat by a mile. Still, the whole thing reeks of dysfunction. Think about it. Gabriel wasn't awful. He was solid, safe, smart. The kind of quarterback who gets you through a rebuild. The kind of quarterback you can trust to go 7-10 and not embarrass you on SportsCenter. But Shedeur? He's not just trying to manage a team. He's trying to change the game. And that scares people. Not just Gabriel. Not just opposing defenses. But the league. Because Shedeur's ascension is more than just a feel-good rookie moment. It's a challenge to how NFL teams have always handled quarterbacks. For decades it's been, sit, learn, stay humble, wait your turn. But guess what? The game has changed. The money's bigger. The pressure's heavier. The leash is shorter. And the window to win? Practically non-existent. So when a rookie walks into camp and outperforms expectations, the smart play isn't to bury him behind a 38-year-old and a clipboard warrior. The smart play? Start him. And that's exactly what the Browns have done. But let's not act like this was easy. There were fights behind closed doors. Coaches arguing in meetings. Ownership pushing for Shedeur. Scouts defending Gabriel. And in the middle of it all, head coach Kevin Stefanski, caught between old-school structure and new-school reality. In the end, Stefanski made the call. And now, everything is on the line. Because this move? It's not just about beating the Bengals. It's about sending a message to the team, to the league, and maybe even to Shedeur himself. You wanted the pressure? You got it. There's no more backup plan. No more excuses. This is the NFL. And when you're QB1, you don't get to ease into the spotlight. You own it, or it eats you alive. But if anyone's built for that moment, it's Shedeur. He's been groomed for this since birth. His father is primetime. His brand is polished. His play is refined. And his mindset? Laser-focused. This isn't a rookie stumbling into a lucky break. This is a calculated takeover. And what happens next? That's where things get wild. If Shedeur shines on Sunday, if he outduels Burrow, runs this offense, and gives the Browns even a taste of hope, Cleveland might never look back. Gabriel will be traded. Flacco becomes the clipboard holder. And the Browns will officially enter the Shedeur era. But if he stumbles, if he looks overwhelmed, if the moment proves too big, the whispers will come roaring back. Rushed. Not ready. Too much too soon. That's the brutal math of the NFL. You only get so many chances to prove the doubters wrong. But here's the difference. Shedeur doesn't care. Because he knows something they don't. He wasn't just given this job. He took it. And if you've been watching, you already know. He's not giving it back. Leveland's entire season hangs in the balance of a rookie's shoulders. And he's walking like he was born to carry it. Look, you don't start Shedeur Sanders week 1 unless you're ready to throw out the script. This isn't a plug-and-play rookie. This is a disruptor. A quarterback who demands the offense change for him, not the other way around. So yeah, the Browns aren't just making a lineup move. They're shifting their entire identity. And that identity? It's got swagger now. It's got electricity. It's got cameras in the locker room, national headlines every morning, and more jersey sales in 1 week than Gabriel's probably had in his entire collegiate and pro career combined. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't just sunshine and new beginnings. There's risk in the air. Big risk. The kind of risk that can either cement your legacy as the coach who trusted greatness early, or turn you into another cautionary tale in Cleveland's cursed quarterback saga. Let's talk pressure. The Bengals are not some soft opener. This is Joe Burrow and a battle-tested AFC contender with something to prove after last season's playoff heartbreak. This is an aggressive defense with guys who love eating rookies for breakfast. And across from them, Shedeur Sanders, the guy some analysts still call raw, who's got every eye in the country on him, waiting to see if he crumbles under the lights or doubles down on all the noise. So what happens if he starts slow? What if the first drive is 3 and out? What if he throws a pick in the red zone? What if Twitter starts doing that thing where they clip one bad play and suddenly he wasn't ready trends by halftime? This is the NFL, and the NFL is not patient. But you know who is ready for that storm? Shedeur. Because while Dillon Gabriel was panicking about fairness and Flacco was giving pre-game speeches about veteran composure, Shedeur was putting in extra work with the first-team offense, weeks before the depth chart changed. He knew this was coming. He saw the cracks forming. He felt the tide turning. And he made sure that when the door opened, he didn't just walk through it. He kicked it off the hinges. Let's break down the Browns' thinking for a second, because this was no emotional decision. This was data meets instinct meets ownership panic. You've got an offense that's stalled for years. You've got weapons, real ones. Amari Cooper, David Njoku, a surprisingly deep running back rotation. But no one to get the ball to them in rhythm. Enter Shedeur. Quick release. Dead-eye accuracy on short to mid routes. Mobility that's more strategic than flashy. And most importantly, a presence. Because if you watched even one Browns preseason drive with Shedeur under center, you notice something immediately. The team moves differently with him. The tempo picks up. The sideline leans forward. The crowd doesn't wait for the third quarter to get loud. That's not normal for a rookie. But Shedeur, he doesn't play like one. And that's what makes this such a dangerous and maybe brilliant move by Stefanski and the Browns front office. They're betting on momentum, on chemistry, on the intangibles that every scout talks about but few can actually recognize in real time. Meanwhile, poor Dillon Gabriel is out here acting like he just got robbed. And maybe he did, if you believe in seniority over spark. But let's be honest, this league has never cared about fair. This is about fire, about impact, about what's going to win now. Gabriel may have memorized every page of the playbook, but Shedeur made the team believe in it. And that's the part you can't teach. Now, let's talk ripple effect. This move doesn't just affect the quarterback room. It sends a message to every player on that roster. Perform or get out of the way. You think Myles Garrett is mad that a rookie just leapfrogged two quarterbacks? Not when it means finally having an offense that can put up more than 17 points and keep the defense off the field. You think the receivers are upset? They're practically doing touchdown dances in the parking lot. There's a reason NFL locker rooms rally behind guys like Shedeur. It's not about pedigree. It's not even about highlight plays. It's about energy. When a guy walks into the huddle and everyone leans in instead of rolling their eyes, that's when you know you've got the right quarterback. And Shedeur? He's had that effect since college. So now the stage is set. Browns, Bengals, Week 1. A rookie with a chip on his shoulder the size of Ohio. A franchise with a tortured history of quarterback failure. And a locker room starving for someone to lead them into something that doesn't end in heartbreak by Thanksgiving. Here's the thing. If Shedeur lights it up on Sunday, it changes everything. Not just for Cleveland, but for the entire league. Because teams are watching. GMs are watching. Rookies in locker rooms across the NFL are watching, wondering if they might get a real shot sooner than later. This isn't just about one quarterback getting named QB1. It's about the shift toward bold decisions over conservative comfort. It's about coaches trusting what they see instead of hiding behind what's safe. And if Shedeur proves them right, the entire quarterback development model could flip on its head. But if he struggles, if he throws 2 early picks, and the offense sputters, and the Browns drop an ugly one to the Bengals, well, then you better believe the old guard will be lining up to say, "I told you so." Dillon Gabriel will leak a smug Instagram story. National media will use words like humble pie. The narrative will try to choke Shedeur out before he even gets comfortable in the pocket. But here's the secret. That's the game. And Shedeur knows it. He's been doubted, dissected, dismissed. He's heard every word. And still, he rose. So don't expect fear in his eyes when he walks out of that tunnel. Expect confidence. Expect purpose. Expect something new. And if you're a Browns fan, buckle up. Because this isn't just a new season. This is a new era. And its name is Shedeur Sanders. And here we are, the lights are on, the stage is set, and Shedeur Sanders is walking into Paycor Stadium like he's already lived this moment in his dreams. Because he has. Not just once or twice, but every single day since the draft. Since the whispers started. Since the draft boards slid him down like he was invisible. Since the pundits questioned his readiness, and anonymous scouts floated tired cliches about ego and attitude. You think he forgot? He's been feeding off it. Every rep, every throw, every late-night film session. Shedeur hasn't just been preparing to start an NFL game. He's been preparing to make everyone who doubted him watch. And now, they don't have a choice. Week 1. Bengals. Division rival. Rookie QB1. You can almost hear the soundtrack swelling. Let's get real. This isn't just another chapter in the Browns' QB carousel. This is something else entirely. This feels cinematic. Because if you zoom out just a little, what we're witnessing is the collision of two NFL worlds. On one side, the old guard, veteran quarterbacks, system guys, clipboard carriers. Guys like Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel who play it by the book, who respect the process, who wait. On the other side, the new wave, charismatic, fearless, and social media savvy. Guys who don't just play the position, they own it. And Shedeur Sanders is riding at the front of that charge like a general. This isn't about disrespecting tradition. It's about breaking a cycle that never served Cleveland to begin with. Let's be brutally honest here. How many quarterbacks have the Browns developed by following the old script? How many top picks got chewed up and spat out while coaches insisted on patience and maturity? How many times have they tried to outsmart the obvious? And now, for the first time in years, they've done something radical. They trusted what they saw, not what the scouting report said, not what the draft slot dictated, not what the culture, police preferred. They saw Shedeur light up preseason defenses, command the locker room, handle media scrutiny like a 10-year vet, and they said, yeah, that's our guy. And here's what no one wants to admit. This might save their franchise, not just because of Shedeur's arm or his legs or his playmaking instincts, but because of what he represents. Hope, swagger, identity. 3 things Cleveland hasn't had under center since. What Kozar? A momentary flash of it with Baker, maybe. But we all saw how quickly that burned out. With Shedeur, it's different. There's no mask, no PR stunt, no performative leadership. What you see is what you get, and what you get is a player who's been under pressure his entire life and still smiles under it. He's not trying to be the next Brady or Mahomes or Lamar. He's just trying to be Shedeur. And that's the part that terrifies the NFL establishment. Because if he succeeds, if this move works, it doesn't just change the Browns. It challenges the very process of how NFL teams evaluate talent, especially black quarterbacks. It says charisma isn't a red flag. Confidence isn't a liability. And maybe, just maybe, personality isn't something to coach out of your QB. The league has been stuck in this idea that quarterback success looks one way: quiet, humble, deferential. A smile in press conferences, and no dance moves in the end zone. But Shedeur? He's not here for that narrative. He's here to play football. He's here to win. And if he celebrates while doing it, good. Let people feel something again. Now, let's not ignore what's coming. The Bengals are no joke. They're not a stepping stone. They're not here to play foil in Shedeur's Disney movie. They're trying to embarrass him, ruin him, shake him early, and break the Browns' momentum before it begins. It'll be loud. It'll be fast. And it's going to get ugly, because that's what real NFL defenses do to rookies. But here's what separates Shedeur from all the other young QBs who've stepped into Week 1 fire. He doesn't blink. He's been targeted by media spin cycles. He's had Twitter turn on him for no reason. He's had NFL royalty call him not serious without even saying his name. And still, he walks taller. That's the kind of resilience you can't teach. That's what makes the locker room fall in line behind a kid who hasn't played a down of regular season football yet. That's why veterans, guys who've seen 5 QBs come and go, are lining up to block for him like it's the Super Bowl. Because with Shedeur, it's not just about football. It's about belonging. He carries himself like he belongs, not in a forced, fake-it-till-you-make-it kind of way, but with a genuine self-assurance that makes everyone else raise their game. You either match his energy or you fall behind. And that's what broke Dillon Gabriel. Because Gabriel, solid, smart, consistent, was playing by rules that no longer apply. He thought being coachable was enough. But Shedeur? He's redefining what it means to lead. It's not about being quiet and waiting. It's about walking in and owning the moment. And if he can back that up on Sunday, the league is going to have to reckon with a very uncomfortable truth. They let this kid fall to the 5th round. Let that sentence sit with you. All those draft analysts, all those war room concerns, all those whispers about attitude. And now, he's the face of the most watched game of the week. It's not just redemption, it's revenge. And the Browns? They've stumbled into a rare chance. A do-over. A chance to rewrite the quarterback curse that's haunted them for 2 decades. They've got a star. A real one. One that chooses Cleveland despite the chaos. One that knows what it means to be underestimated and uses it as fuel. The question now is simple. Will they protect him? Not just with the offensive line, but with leadership, with patience, with a game plan that suits his strengths, with a culture that stops trying to make quarterbacks fit into old molds and starts building around what makes them unique. Because if they get that part right, if they give Shedeur the freedom to be himself, fully, unapologetically, loudly, then we might be looking at the birth of something historic. Not just a great season, not just a Rookie of the Year campaign, but a new era. An era where the quarterback isn't just a playmaker. He's the pulse of the team, the face of the franchise, the heartbeat of the city. And Cleveland? You've been waiting a long time for that. So don't blink now, because QB1 has arrived. And his name is Shedeur Sanders.